The Persians, under Xerxes, invade Greece with a huge land army and a vast fleet to supply it. Greek sources put the Persian fleet at 1,207 ships, 1,207, which is suspiciously similar to the number of ships Homer said attacked Troy. The Greeks had around 270. Suffice to say, there were a lot of Persian ships, drawn from Phoenician cities and Egypt, Cyprus, Cilicia in Turkey, and Ionian Greeks. Lots and lots of Ionian Greeks fighting for the Persians now. Themistocles got the allied Greeks to agree on a plan. The army would try and hold the pass at Thermopylae. Yes, that Thermopylae. While the 300 Spartan hoplites were etching their names into history, less so the 6,000 or so other Greek soldiers who were actually there holding the hot gates from the 100,000 strong Persian horde, the Greek navies were making a fight that was just as important. If the Persian fleet could operate freely, then barring the road at Thermopylae was meaningless. They could easily be bypassed, outflanked, and surrounded. So the smaller and less experienced Greek fleet had to keep the Persians out of the Straits of Euboea for as long as the Spartans, and the 6,000 other guys no one cares about, could hold Thermopylae. To this end, they made camp at Cape Artemisium, where they could monitor movements either side of the island of Euboea and deny the Persian army the support, both for supply and for movement, of their fleet. Off Cape Artemisium, Herodotus was of the view that the Persian ships were better sailing vessels, and the Athenian crews were considered to be less experienced. On the other hand, the Greek ships were said to have been significantly heavier, which is a big advantage in a head-on-head ramming situation. Being heavier is, however, a liability in a turning fight to line up the ram. You have to build your ships to work within a doctrine. The Persian fleet was known to have mastered a maneuver called the diekplus, one where the enemy line is penetrated and then the attacking ships make a hard wheel to get into the side of their enemy with their ram. To counter this, the Greeks were known to deploy their heaviest ships in a wheel formation, although there is significant reason to doubt they could have deployed 270 ships in this way. More likely they formed a defensive crescent in the straits, refusing their flanks. As the first day of the Battle of Thermopylae began, the Greek and Persian fleets came together late in the day, with the Persians coming off the worst before both sides disengaged. A storm that night smashed a fleet the Persians were trying to send around Euboea to outflank the Greek position. Worse was to befall the Persians that night.